This was followed by a gender analysis, and the gender analysis, the main thing that we do is to have a daily activities profile in terms of gender and children as well. So we look at men from when you wake up until you go back to bed. What do you do? Women, from when you wake up and you go back to bed, what are some of the activities that you do? And then the children as well. And this activity helps to know, because Happy Villages plans to work with this community. When you will be looking for women to do your planning, when is the best time to get them? Because in their daily activities profile, they're very busy at this time trying to do this and this. They're very busy at this other time, and they're a bit relaxed during this time. So combining the daily activities profile and the seasonal diagramming helps to know when is the community available. And in community, we are talking of the different sectors of the community. We are talking of the young people, the old people, the men and the women. When are they likely to be available to discuss development with Happy Villages? And when would they be comfortable discussing all these issues without feeling pressed for time or feeling pressed that they're missing on an income somewhere instead of participating in this? During the second week, the activity that we engaged the community in was a stakeholders analysis. And this is a process whereby we get the community to identify people or groups or persons that they feel have been trying to support development in the area or have been trying to do a number of development activities in the area. And the way in which we selected people to participate, we wanted it to be as neutral as possible. We wanted to work with people who are very knowledgeable about the community, and all the people that we invited for the stakeholder analysis was done when we did our transect work within the community. So they were randomly selected from the community, and there were representatives from all the villages that are within Leata. They identified at least 9 villages within Leata community, and we tried to get representatives from all this. The stakeholders analysis was very interesting. We had all sorts of groups being mentioned, what they do, where they get their funding, all the civil society organization, what the government does in terms of development. And all this information will be useful at planning stage and knowing whom do we need to approach when we want to intervene in the health sector or in the education sector. 6th day, we had a needs or a problem identification session. And this one, we also picked people from various ages in the community. And the purpose was just to see what kind of problems exist in the Leata community. And what do you think are some of the reasons why they exist? The community was able to come up with a list of problems, at least 14 of them, which was a big number. But in terms of intervening, to be very practical and focused, we agreed with the team that we'd narrow this down to 7 significant problems, which are still many, and during action planning we were able to reduce this further. On the next day, what we did was to, after ranking the options, was to try now and come with action plans based on all the options which were selected. Like if they chose water as their first option that needed intervention, exactly what kind of interventions did they need underwater? And we divided them again in groups depending on all the options which were selected. And what we needed the groups to discuss was, this is an activity that we feel there's a need here. We need water in Leata. How do we go about it? Do we dig boreholes? Do we dig wells? Do we extend the network, the water network within the community, or what do we do? So the groups were able to sit down and discuss all the options or all the activities that they need to help them solve the water situation in Leata. The same went for education, the same went for health, the same went for having food security in Leata, and the same went for having a good road infrastructure within Leata. The last session for action planning, we invited community members, we invited teachers, we invited government officials. At least one came, who was from the children's department, And we felt this was very useful because when we planned together with the government, we planned together with the community and the Lieta team and the religious groups and all that, then we feel that whatever plan we are coming up with will be embraced by most members of the community, if not all of them. So all the sectors, and we try to make people comfortable. We ask them who would be very comfortable discussing water, who would be comfortable discussing education and health and all that, because we needed them to give us very reliable and confident information that they felt would fall under these sectors. So in the action plan, we needed them to identify what is the activity that you need to do to ensure that there is water within Lieta. The next is, who do you think would be responsible for such an activity? What kind of resources would you need? By when do you feel that you'll be ready to have such an intervention? And by when do you think it will be done? So this helped the group to think deeper than just proposing activities. They even went ahead into proposing the actual sites. If you're talking of having water points, where exactly do you want it? Because they understand the community. If you're thinking of having a health center, where exactly do you want? It's normally very important to learn the dynamics in a community, know why they want things where they want them. And this also makes them responsible because they'll get to see if it is here, then which community will be responsible for it. If it is here, then which community will be responsible for it. So action planning process is a very significant stage when doing the participatory rural appraisal process, and it's actually like the final stage. So the process that you are doing was participatory rural appraisal. So we used some of the findings in the baseline report to guide us as we were doing the consultative process. And this one was done through 8 community consultative meetings. We were in Lieta for 8 days, and we consulted with different groups of people, trying to get different kind of information. And the reason why we are doing this is because one, to help the community develop an action plan, something you can plan your future on. That is demand driven, it comes from people, it doesn't come from happy villages. And it's not just demand driven, but it has a goal. And the goal is to help attain the 8 Millennium Development Goals. So we are just assisting the community to come up with a plan, a concrete plan that can help you attain these goals. And we consulted with many groups. We had the chiefs, we had the women group, we had the village elders, whom I believe are still here, primary and secondary school. We had children, we had churches. The beach management unit, we had teacher folk, we had a few government representatives, and civil society organizations. I'm happy to know that through the processes that we did with Happy Villages, it was quite obvious that Lieta community were very eager to embrace development. They all participated actively in the meetings, and you could see them thinking deeply and trying to see, this thing is here, we've never thought of it, but now that we are discussing it, it is good that we feel part of the whole process.
Happy Villages was created because the current situation in Kenya is dire on a number of fronts: health, education, water and sanitation, agriculture, environment and gender equality all need serious attention. Happy Villages will work across all these areas within one location at a time for a period of 10 years to help the community meet the Millennium